Alright, YouTube.
You about to have another triple double.
Joker.
14 points,
Joker.
11 assists, 7 rebounds.
Oh yeah, he
And
gonna do
Murray's
it.
had 24 points. That's how they do. That's how they usually do it.
Yeah. Joker about to have that triple double, y'all.
Hey y'all, we live. Keep 1
All right,
million
fam.
show.
We're about to go on
Need y'all
live.
to share.
Check it out.
Please
This
like
this is on
and
YouTube.
share. We're also on YouTube on KRDP's YouTube channel. And if you want to listen to the music, please go on listen to number 2 krdp.com. I know y'all watching the NBA Finals. Game 1. Seems like the Denver's winning by almost 20.
Don't worry, or by texting Native Health, which is all one word.
Did you say?
828.
Jill, why don't you
Please
tell us
share.
what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slot king and went back to my super twin fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the
Did you
U.S.
say-
Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Broadcasting from the Phoenix Center for the Arts, you're tuned to KRDP Jazz and Indie, where the family comes to talk, sing, connect. KRDP, Apache Junction, Goldfield Ghost Town, Phoenix, 90.7 FM in the East Valley, and online at listen, the number 2, KRDP.com, a service of Desert Soul Media.
Views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of Desert Soul Media and its board of directors. Thank you for listening.
This week on the Keep 1 Million show, the NBA Finals is here, and we're going to talk Game 1 between the Miami Heat and the Denver Nuggets. We're also going to get into that epic Eastern Conference Finals against the Boston Celtics and Miami, and what's next for the Boston Celtics. They have a lot of questions that need to be answered. We're also going to talk about the coaching carousel, as some coaches have landed on teams. Are they the right fit? We're also going to get into the undisputed may be parting ways. Shannon Sharp may be leaving. We're going to talk about that, and also everything in between the sports world and beyond from the past week. So keep it locked right here on the Keep 1 Million show.
I like that beat.
Mhm.
What beat was that, man?
The ESPN NBA beat
Oh.
music. Yeah. I got that from YouTube. And then I added music I wanted on here.
Oh, yeah,
Monday.
you said you was going to do that last week. Yeah.
Yeah. So right now the Prince.
Oh, Purple Rain.
Mm-hmm. but at the 5-minute mark, that's when we're gonna come on.
Yo, it's crazy. Somebody said this. So I've heard this before, but somebody said it's like Purple Rain was like a horrible movie, but the soundtrack was like one of the greatest soundtracks ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I never thought it was I never thought it was a bad movie until I saw it when I got older. I was like,
Right.
yeah, because when I was younger, I was on that, because you saw Apollonia jump into the Lake Minnetonka.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You know, a lot of those movies back when we were kids look really great until you see, how you look now versus the older movies. Other movies that got better movies.
Oh shoot.
I mean, I ain't watched that in a long time.
Hopefully this mic. I'm gonna have to go to another mic. This was the mic that was acting funny.
Oh yeah. Brown hitting the 3.
Oh, who hit a 3?
Bruce Brown.
For Denver.
Mm-hmm. They up 19 right now.
Yeah, man. They gonna be.
Is Denver gonna sweep Miami? I think you gotta put your money on Denver, man. Oh, look. Where we at? Mike what? Mike 3?
3.
Make sure it's hooked up right there. Okay.
I just got
He just called timeout.
Yeah, he just they're gonna be overmatched. Maybe, they have to win one, game 1 or 2, maybe, because if they don't, they gonna mess around and get swept.
So I had my Nuggets jersey on this morning.
Back in the day, I was thinking about.
Carmelo Anthony. I had a Carmelo Anthony jersey.
I should have got it back in the day. I was gonna be rocking the Alex English. Old school.
Yeah.
Old school.
You still get it?
I still can get it. Yeah,
I'm waiting on this jersey. I've been waiting on it for weeks. The old Charlotte.
Charlotte Hornets.
Jesus. Larry Johnson.
LJ, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when they had LJ and Lonzo Mourning, man.
I got it for cheap, but I just hope it ain't all jacked up. I got it for like $30, and it's coming from China. So
I remember I never been
it's
stationed.
one of those.
I never been stationed in Korea, but I remember back in the day they catch used to tell me they used to have a station in Korea and be just one shop.
Yeah.
And you get any jersey there,
My cousin was
and they
stationed
look
in
just
Korea.
like they look just
No,
like
they're the odd, not the real odd things, but they would stitch them like
yeah, they
them.
would stitch them
Yeah.
like them and everything. Because this one dude had a J Kidd, New Jersey Net J Kidd. I was like, yo, you got the J Kidd? He said, yeah, Korean, man.
Right.
I think he get like $40 or something
Yeah,
like that.
my cousin have I got a jersey. I had got the from him. I got the Lawrence Taylor jersey. He had a Jerry Rice jersey, but that was when it was split. Remember, it was like you could put the 2 teams. This was before they even came out. It was half San Francisco, half Raiders.
Oh,
Jerry Rice
yeah, I remember
jersey.
yeah.
Yep. And he had the Super
It was like
Bowl.
the front. It was like the front and the back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, it was both. It was like if they cut them in half.
Oh,
and
okay.
Stitched them together.
Oh, cut in half.
So it was half.
Yeah.
It was half San Francisco
and half Raiders.
Raiders. So it was a white number and a silver number and a right. Yeah. It was crazy.
I got you. I do remember those.
Ring, come on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we've been waiting for a long time. We've been waiting for a long
1 Million Show is live. We're back. I'm Dwayne.
Sean P.
And the NBA Finals is live. Game 1, Miami versus Denver. I guess this is the series that no one wanted to see because it is now 79-60 Denver.
Yeah.
They're up by 19 already. And you can, put it to how epic that Eastern Conference Finals was and how it ended up from a 3-0 series that Miami could have swept and had a lot of days off, at least 8 days off. But it goes all the way to Game 7 with Boston coming back and then getting blown out at home to Miami. Sean, what did you think about Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals?
I'm gonna tell you what my big cousin used to always say to me, and when I was younger, and he said it to me a few weeks ago. He said we live by the ABCs. Anyone but the Celtics. You know what I'm saying? Anyone but the Celtics. So seeing the Celtics go out like that on their home court with Jimmy Butler winning the Larry Bird Award on their home court, all the fans filtering out because they was getting blown out. It just gave me like I was like yes, you see what I'm saying? So I was really I was okay with that, but in hindsight, being the sports dude that I am, I already knew. I was like, man, he's not gonna win this. It would have been a better final. It would be a better final for Boston playing Denver, even though I still believe Denver would have won.
Yeah, like I said last week, and I told some people who really was, trying to pick my brain. No matter who won that series, Denver was going to win because of how this Eastern Conference series was played. I mean, it played very physical, very sloppy at times. A lot of turnovers. Have you seen with Boston? They had turnovers, after turnovers. Jaylen Brown I think he had like 8 turnovers Game 7. Jason Tatum with those travelings and carries that I never see a carry, especially in the playoffs. And their sloppy play versus it's Jimmy Butler and the Butlerettes. You know what I mean? You have like 4 undrafted players, playing with Jimmy Butler, and they did a great job. They did an excellent job. Caleb Martin, could have been the Eastern Conference MVP. He basically carried the team in Game 7, but the whole, that thing is the whole Eastern Conference Finals, and Jimmy Butler was the best player by far.
Yeah, he was the best player by far. You called him the Butler. You called him the Butlerettes, man. That's
I mean, come on now. I mean,
I believe that Jimmy Butler could get him one game. He can get him one game. You remember back in the day when they used to say Allen Iverson can get you one game?
Well, he did. AI did, remember?
Yeah, AI got him one game.
That was it.
That was it.
It was a wrap after that.
AI get you one game. So I believe that Jimmy can get him one game. I do believe that. Jimmy's too much of a warrior, man.
Right. The thing is, remember the last series how Denver was playing, where Jokic wasn't really scoring, he was facilitating, rebounding, playmaking, and your main scorer is Jamal Murray. This is exactly what's happening right now, where Jamal Murray is your primary scorer, and Jokic is your facilitator. He has 9 rebounds, 12 assists, 15 points. Murray has 24 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds. So he's going to get another triple-double in the playoffs. That's like, I think 9 or 10 triple-doubles in the playoffs?
Yeah,
we're getting to Wilt Chamberlain numbers.
He's going to get another triple-double. Matter of fact, I listened to Gilbert Arenas talking, and he was talking with what's the guy named played for Cincinnati Bearcats? Kenyon Martin. He's talking to Kenyon Martin and Nico Grimes. Nico Grimes is believe his name's Brent Grimes, plays for the NFL. And she's actually really knowledgeable basketball because she played basketball player. And she talked about how the European game is played, and that's how the NBA is playing now, where it's positionless. So you have Jokic, the Joker, playing a point center pretty much. I mean, he's literally doing stuff that guards do, and it's literally unstoppable. He's 7 foot, shooting. He can shoot threes. He get rebounds. He got a low post game somewhat, and the only weakness you could say that he has is defense. But is there anybody on Miami's team that's going to give him work right there on the offensive end, in the low post?
Exactly. Bam Adebayo, everyone's waiting for him to come alive. We got to see what happens. I think he's holding his own, but at the same time, now they're down 21 points. So it's really not looking good because you also have Aaron Gordon there down low as well. So, and remember, he can score, he can defend as well. Talking about a position player, he can defend.
Yeah.
At least four different positions. He has 14 points, 5 rebounds, and don't forget Caldwell Pope if he gets hot. You got Bruce Brown who has 10 points right now. If you look at both of their lineups, their rosters, once again, Denver has the better roster.
Yes.
You have more veteran players on Denver versus Miami. Now, granted, Miami was the 8th seed. Wasn't expected to get here to the finals. You beat the number 1 team, the number 2 team. You beat the Knicks as well. Up and coming team right now, and they went through them, and now you gotta go through the best team in the league, kind of like those video games where you say you gotta fight the final boss, and then you beat the final boss, and now you got the final boss, and this is what's going on right now.
It's like when you play Street Fighter and you have to fight Bison at the end. You have to fight Bison.
And that's Jokic. You know what I mean? So, we're definitely gonna keep tabs on this game. It's the end of the third quarter. It looks like it's over for Denver. Over for Miami, as Denver's gonna take Game 1. Some big news off the Western Conference. Golden State, to be exact, their GM steps down. And he was just saying it's time to step down. I guess he wants to spend time with his family. Probably take a year off. Maybe come back later on with the team. Do you think that he'll come back with another team?
I don't think so this season. I could be wrong, but I don't believe so this season. I believe he's going to chill out for one season. And possibly, that Knicks job came open, but they're going to fill it up. If he does take something, he might take that Knicks one, because believe it or not, you can talk trash about the Knicks if you want. It's still New York. It's New York, and if you win in New York, it's like it's. Look, Clyde Frazier's still living off of that. He's still eating off that win in New York. So, and that happened before I was born.
Yeah, Bob Myers, and remember, Bob Myers is the architect of this Golden State dynasty. He's a 2-time executive of the year, and he has drafted Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, drafted all these new players that's in right now, and also brought in Steve Kerr, got rid of Mark Jackson, and basically started this dynasty that is 4 championships out of 8 years.
He was one of the people that helped recruit KD. I had to look up Klay Thompson. I know he didn't draft Steph. I know that was the other GM. I want to say he didn't draft Klay either, but he did draft Draymond, and he did make he did draft Wiseman, and he did orchestrate that trade to get KD and to get Wiggins. Wiggins as well. And he shot down the trade for when they were talking about trading Klay. He shot that down. to keep Clay there. So he's a good GM. I mean, he deserves the credit that he gets.
Exactly. There was rumors that he may take the Washington Wizards GM position, but that has been filled. This is kind of strange. I guess Washington wanted to actually speak to him, and I think Golden State said no. But at the same time, I'm hearing rumors that the owner's son, who is a executive on the franchise, he
Yes.
may be stepping into that GM role. So I think I'm not sure if he stepped down or he was told to let go or mutually parted ways, as they say.
Yeah.
For that, the owner's son can move into that position.
Yeah.
But that is something that remains to be seen. Similar to the Dallas Cowboys situation, where you have Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones running the organization. It may be that way with Golden State. We're definitely gonna keep everyone posted with that. And also, before we go to break, Nick Nurse and Monty Williams have new coaching jobs.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about that on the next when we come back after break, and how those jobs, coincide with what's going on right now in the playoffs and moving forward. So keep it locked right here. It's the Keep 1 Million Show. Okay, we're back. Keep 1 Million Show. I'm Dwayne.
Sean P.
And we are talking about the NBA coaching carousel. Nick Nurse has a deal to be the next 76ers head coach. And Monty Williams has became the Detroit Pistons head coach with a massive contract. 6 years, $78.5 million, making him the largest in NBA history. The deal with Nick Nurse didn't come out, so we're not sure how much that is. And then also, the Phoenix Suns have their 3 finalists is Doc Rivers, Frank Vogel, and Kevin Young.
Oh, okay.
And Kevin Young is an assistant
Yeah.
coach. Very interesting right there. I don't see. I would possibly think Frank Vogel gets that position, make make that team a better defensive team. If Doc Rivers get that job, I don't know how. I don't see him and Chris Paul coexisting again.
Nothing would surprise me. I don't think they're gonna go with Kevin Young. I believe they're gonna go with somebody. So it's gonna come down to Doc Rivers and who's the other one? It was
Frank Vogel.
Frank Vogel's gonna come down to those two. And at that point okay. Frank Vogel got a chip, more recent, but they're gonna say, well, that was bubble. Yeah, that could be.
Ron James.
That could be held against them. That was bubble.
Davis.
But you got to remember. Like, I don't like to say this and put an asterisk. I don't want to put an asterisk on it, but I will say this about that bubble championship. You did get like 2 months off and 2 months of rest. So you just like, okay.
Right.
So that's what they might hold against him. And then Doc, like he does have a chip from 2008, long time ago, really long time ago.
I think the person who said it the best was Rasheed Wallace.
Mhm.
And I talked about this before on his podcast. He's talked about how he's just not a game adjuster. He wants the players to adjust on their own, and they don't get any guidance from him as a coach. And like I said, frankly, I don't think him and CP3 will work together. Maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, we'll keep going. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you.
No, it's all good. I think CP3 could get past it if they went that route. I mean, how many more years CP3 got in him? 2? Maybe 2. I'm surprised he's still hanging on, to tell you the truth. So I just don't see how that it's more so if you say Kevin Durant or Devin Booker, then I'd be like, oh, okay. You know, so I can see them going with Vogel. Though, like you said, more defensive. They already got the offensive power. You know, so we'll see. We'll see.
Right, and now, more importantly, the Nick Nurse hire. What did you think about that? And how would that work with, trying to keep James Harden and keeping that team to where they can get past the first round?
The
second round. Excuse me.
Nick Nurse is good. These are a good pick. I told you last week that's who they were gonna go with. And honestly, they wasn't gonna go with D'Antoni because they know how that would have looked. They would have been like, oh, you just trying to kiss Harden's behind and stuff like that. But D'Antoni wouldn't have been the right choice right there. So a lot of people, okay, Nick Nurse, I like it. It's a lot. I'm part of this 160 fan group on Facebook. A lot of them don't like it, but I'm like, well, I mean, what do y'all want? I mean, like, look at the choices that were there, and they believe that Nick Nurse works the best. I believe it does too, and we'll see. Oh, Nick Nurse also told Harden it's winning time. It's winning time. If you want to be here, we winning.
Well, a rumor is floating around that Fred VanVleet, a free agent, used to be coached by Nick Nurse. They won that championship. Maybe looking at the 76ers now that Nick Nurse got him. So that could be a great move, hiring Nick Nurse, knowing that you can also recruit players to come with, versus say a Monty Williams, which that's not going to happen. And say, any of these other coaches, that's possibly not going to happen, but with Toronto, and you have Pascal Siakam, Fred VanVleet, and others who are free agents looking to...
Oh, Pascal's a free agent?
Bounce out. Either Pascal or OG Anunoby.
Okay.
Toronto as a team, that looks like they may be on the verge of, tanking, for maybe another player, another draft pick coming up.
They literally they rented their championship. I mean, you saw what they did. They went and got Kawhi and they got their chip. That was their goal. And you saw what happened. Because everybody knew Kawhi wasn't going to be there because Philly looked at Kawhi, but he wouldn't re-up. He wouldn't okay, we signed you and put years on this contract. He wouldn't do it. So Philly was like, well, we're not going to trade these players to San Antonio, and then you're not going to re-up. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And Toronto jumped on it and got their chip. And people was like, well, Philly could have got a chip. I'm like, yeah, but at what cost though? Like, because you know how it is. When you win a chip, you want to win multiple chips after that. At that point, so it depends on how you look at it. So VanVleet, that would be a nice pickup. And so if Siakam was a free agent, that would be too. But we have to do a sign and trade. You got to look at stuff like that too.
Right. Exactly. So something to look at right there, especially with.
Also, Nick Nurse holds them accountable, and he's a good in-game manager.
Yeah. Right. So, some other news. Matter of fact, in the NFL, you have a rumor going on, not necessarily a rumor, but a possibility that Jimmy Garoppolo could be cut before his first season as a Raider. He did get foot surgery, but he failed his physical. And if he fails it again, I think he has to do another physical and things of that nature. The Raiders can get out from under his contract. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but then when you see the whole Tom Brady to the Raiders as an ownership group, it's kind of like, are y'all trying to do what the rumors were talking about before? What we, the rumors was, all these rumors were with Miami, that Tom Brady was gonna, go to the ownership group in Miami, then possibly, step down and become a player and all this stuff. And now you're looking at it, you're like, he went to the Raiders, did the same thing. What's going on here? So these are just speculations. But what's real is, I don't know if that's a good idea if you cut Jimmy G and you have no quarterback. You know what I mean? Period. It doesn't look good. This could be just some, social media fodder. But
I could tell you this. What I read, it said that Tom Brady has no interest in coming back playing football. He said he's not coming back. So that's what it said on ESPN. That he doesn't want to come back. So I don't know what they're trying to do, what role they're trying to play, but I hope he passes that, because I always wish everybody the best. So I hope he passes his next physical, because to get cut and you ain't even play bad.
Yeah, he hasn't even played yet. Not just
yeah.
played bad. He hasn't played yet. So, like I said, that's a rumor, but it's a possibility if he doesn't, if he's not 100% healthy, and it wasn't, expressed to the Raiders beforehand, before they picked him up, so that is a main issue. And then the DeAndre Hopkins situation is still, going on, where he hasn't picked the team yet, but something I thought about. Now he is now a free agent. He's been released by the Cardinals. People have been talking. I've thought about this, that he can go to the Browns to play with his ex-teammate,
somebody else
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, that's a good look. That's a good look right there.
But the Browns wasn't on his list though.
But his list is kind of too much.
Yeah, it is.
Because the Bills can't pay him. I don't think Kansas City's going to pay him. He wants like $20 million.
Yeah.
So, and we've seen Odell Beckham get 15, but for one season. Will DeAndre Hopkins get 20 for one, maybe 2 seasons at $20 million a year? As an older player, older veteran, I'm not sure.
He's not that old. He's what, 30? 29, 30?
Yeah, he's
not
around
that old.
30, 31. But when you compile the injuries,
yeah,
he had a few significant injuries in his career as well. Just coming back from that, he come back from his suspension with the suspected PEDs.
Yeah.
But the main issue is money. And when you look at the rosters of the Bills and Kansas City, it looks like they don't have that room, monetarily wise. It's good. It'll be great to see him on the other side of Stephon Diggs. It'll be excellent to see him, with Kansas City and their, young core as far as wide receivers are concerned. But they have some big names that are getting paid a lot of money. So, it's reported now that he's unlikely to join the Bills because they can't meet contract demands.
Yeah. He also had the Eagles on that list. And the Eagles already have a number one in A.J. Brown. They have the kid from Alabama, Smith, Devonta Smith. I mean, I guess they could let go Quez Watkins and bring DeAndre Hopkins in, but it wouldn't make any sense because you would have two number ones pretty much, and I don't think Howie Roseman's going to give him that type of money. So yeah, he needs to. And the Cleveland Browns would actually be really good for him because they got who they got on the other side. They got the I'm about to say Amani Toomer. It's not Amani Toomer.
Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper.
Right, you going back. Amari Toomer.
Yeah, that's the Giants wide receiver.
Right, you going way back.
Yeah, and so to have him there with Deshaun Watson, that actually might be the business right there.
Yeah, I think that can work. The thing is he willing to do that? You know.
Yeah.
Like I said, these are all rumors and whatnot. He did sign with Clutch Sports though, so they're going to be aggressive.
Yeah.
When it comes to money, years, as far as terms are concerned, and I'm not sure if that'll scare off teams.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very interesting to see what's going to happen. I think he will be on a team before the preseason. I think he will be on a team before the preseason. So, definitely got to look out for that. Going back to the game, I think it's in the fourth quarter.
Should be almost over.
Yeah, it should be over right now. Hold on. Should have had this already up, but like I said last time we saw it was they were up 20 in the end of the third quarter. So they're up. Looks like they're up 12, 92 to 80. 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, that's Jimmy Butler time.
Yeah.
he's gonna make a run in the fourth quarter, just like he did in game 6 and in game 7 in Eastern Conference. Speaking of, I didn't get into Boston's situation. What do you think's gonna happen after this season? They underachieved. They didn't make it to the finals, and you see problems with Jaylen Brown, problems with Tatum. I think Missoula, he talked about, they're going to bring him back.
Mm-hmm.
Austin's doing to bring back Tatum, and they're trying to bring back Jaylen Brown. I think Jason Tatum already said he wants him back. So that's going to, play a big role. But what else do they need? If they say they bring all them back, and then, at the contracts that they want, which would be massive, what else do they need? Because I think they need a lot more than just those two players.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to get Jaylen Brown the max or not, because Tatum deserves the max. I'm not going to sit here and say Jaylen Brown doesn't deserve the max, but can they give two players the max? That max deal? We shall see. They both Tatum vocalized that he wants Tatum to stay. He also Missoula's staying. So they just need to figure out what they're going to do. I heard some whisper. When I say heard, I read about some whispers about Dame Lillard trying to do a trade for Dame Lillard. Man, that would be nasty.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be crazy. But they would have to give us some pieces. They would have to give up Marcus Smart. They would have to give up Marcus Smart, and they would have to give us some other pieces to get that done. They might even have to give up Jaylen Brown.
Right, and then also in the front court you got the Williams. What do they do with them? Al Horford, I think it's time for him to go. He's a little bit older, a lot older. I really think it's to get a younger body in there and to keep Missoula, I guess is okay, but at the
It's okay.
same time, if you're trying to get to a championship, it may be best to get a veteran coach, a coach that these players actually listen to. Now, I think the main problem is the players on the floor, but you also do need a new voice there. Maybe switch up these assistant coaches, maybe get better assistant coaches. I'm not sure, but it's something that needs to be done, because we was just here last year when they got beat by Golden State. Everyone's wondering, well, if they go back, maybe they'll win it because they're going to be the best team. We was just here a few years ago as well in the bubble and afterwards, where they was in the Eastern Conference Finals and losing, and it's like, well, maybe it's another piece here or there, and now it's 5 Eastern Conferences, NBA Finals, and we're still stuck in the same route. When you keep doing the same things over and over again, what is it? That's called definitions of insanity.
Mm-hmm.
You got to switch something up. You got to change something, and maybe a massive swing. I mean, when you see, shout out to Bob Myers. When they was in that rut, when you had Clay and Steph injured, and they're like the bottom of the West.
Mm-hmm.
You had them bring in these young players, Wiseman and Jordan Poole, and they had a D'Lo there for a minute, but that didn't work out. To try to usher in a newer generation on the franchise, and now what you have when they won the championship was your core group, and then some young players that can learn, and they got hot at the right time.
Yeah.
That's something that they need to look at. I mean, to be honest with you, maybe it needs to be Stevens needs to step down and get a new GM in there to try to put some splash in there. Get some kind of some excitement. You got your Boston fan base; they're gonna be excited all the time. But as far as excitement, like, wow, they done really made some real deals and got a real bench and all these players. I mean, Grant Williams is great, and some of the other players are great, but it's something missing. So you can't put your finger on it, but there's something missing with Boston, to where if they get that one thing, they can get it to the championship.
Yeah, like it was with Detroit when they got Rasheed Wallace.
Right.
That was that one thing. It was like, oh, so yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't know what that one thing is, but
a veteran champion player or someone like LeBron. Maybe LeBron James.
LeBron ain't going to Boston.
Of course not. But hey, they need something. But we're gonna come right back and we're gonna talk more. What's going on outside of the ring, outside of the courts? Keep it locked right here. It's the Keep 1 Million Show. Mm. 104 to 90. Jokic.
Triple double.
It's about over. Oh, it's over. 32 seconds left.
Yeah.
It's like Denver took game 1. What is that? Hey, what's going on? Hey, follow the page. Thanks, y'all. All right, we're back. Keep it 1 Million Show. I'm Dwayne.
Sean P.
And like Chick Hearn said, you can put this in the fridge. I don't know how he said it, But
Well,
remember the old Laker.
Yeah,
the old
Roseanne Arnold Barr or whatever. She said that she said, stick a fork in me, I'm done.
Yeah, just stick a fork in them, they're done. 104 to 93 right now with just a few seconds left. And if you're a betting man, I think the line was 8.5, 9 Denver. So,
But they won by 11.
Yeah, I mean, they made some money. Now, the series, yeah, it's a final, 104 to 93. Now, the series, where do you see this going? Do you see a sweep, gentlemen's, game 6 maybe?
What I see is I need to see game 2 because Miami's been known for taking the game. They usually take game 1. They're taking the game on the home
on the road.
On the road, take that game on the road, come back to Miami, and then see what they do. And that's what they in the other series you like, okay, but this series they have to win at least one game on the road. They can't go to Miami down 2-0. They have to be 1-1. So that way, and then look, it's an 11-point loss. Believe it or not, that's not bad. It's not bad. So it's not like they got blown out by 21 points. So I'm curious to see what game 2 is going to be like because Eric Spoelstra's a good coach. He's a really good coach. So I want to see what game plan they're going to come in for game 2.
Yeah, definitely. Game 2 is very important for Miami. But the thing is, we talked about this when Denver's playing against the Suns, when Denver's playing against the Lakers. You have to pick your poison. Are you going to let Jokic score a bunch of points and lock everybody down? Or are you going to try to shut him down, double team him, and then he has this, uncanny ability to find the open man, and it's usually right now Jamal Murray who's on fire in the playoffs. What do you do? Because this is the problem with every team that played against them, especially right now in the playoffs. You have Jokic with 27, 10, and 14.
You got a triple-double.
Again. Yeah. Murray with 26, 10, and 6.
Yeah.
And then Aaron Gordon with 16 points.
I forgot they had Aaron
Brown off the bench with 10. Michael Porter Jr. with 14.
14. I'm about to say, don't let Michael Porter Jr. start hitting shots.
They only made 8 3-pointers. They're 29% from 3, which is actually terrible.
Yeah.
Miami hit 13 3-pointers. They were only 33%, but they're only 40% from the field. Denver's 51% from the field. And then your leading scorers for Miami, you have Bam Adebayo came in with 26, Vincent with 19, and Butler with 13. And then off the bench, you have Highsmith with 18 and Lowry with 11.
Okay, now that I'm hearing that Butler only had 13.
Right.
Just think if Butler would have had a normal Butler game. A normal Butler game, what, 27? They'd have won that.
Something like that.
They won
the thing is, we'll see what happens in game 2. And I didn't watch the games, obviously, so I want to see what happened in that fourth quarter because, like you said, Jimmy Butler, what happened to him in the fourth quarter? How did they defend Jimmy Butler in the fourth quarter? Because he usually just goes bananas in the fourth quarter, and he didn't. With only 13 points in the whole game, that's telling. So, he's going to come out firing in game 2. And that's the thing, too. How are Denver going to defend? Because, you see, they let Bam Adebayo go off, and it looks like they bottled up Jimmy Butler, so would be their game plan game 2.
Okay.
You have Michael Porter Jr., you have Aaron Gordon, who's bigger, than some of those players in Boston. So it's kind of a chess game right now. You got to see how Eric Spoelstra adjust to game right now from game to game and see what they do. But it's going to be very interesting. Now, before the game, Adam Silver, who's obviously there at the finals, talked about Ja Morant's situation, that they have uncovered some more information about the Ja Morant situation. If you know, he was suspended for flashing a gun at a strip club in Denver, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Shotgun Willis, yeah.
And he gets suspended. Now, the season's over, and he was on IG and was flashing a gun again while his friend was driving a truck. The Grizzlies suspended him indefinitely, and Adam Silver said, "We've uncovered a fair amount of additional information. I think since I was first asked about the situation, I will say we probably could have brought it to a head now, but we made the decision, and I believe the Players Association agreed with us that it would be unfair for those players and these teams in the middle of the series to announce the results of that investigation. Given that we're, of course, in the off season, he has now been suspended by the Memphis Grizzlies indefinitely, so nothing would have changed anyway for the next few weeks. It seems better to park that at the moment. At least any public announcement, in my sense now, is that shortly after conclusion of the finals, we will announce the outcome of that investigation."
Okay.
So that's very interesting there, because he could be looking at half a season suspension, maybe a full season suspension,
maybe.
whatever this new information is. You know, I mean, hopefully it's not as bad as we think it is. You know, there's all these rumors and speculations going on about what's going on with his family and his dad and his mom, and things happen at a mall or at a playground, and you know, I mean, what do you think about this situation here?
Well, it's a terrible situation. Didn't want to see him go through this again. So what people seem not to realize is how extremely serious this is. He was in a car. The strip club was one thing that was bad too, but this time he's in a moving vehicle. He has a gun. He's flashing a gun in his hand. What if a police officer just happened to be driving by and saw that and just pulled up, put the siren on and everything, pulled their pistol out and it's like, "Hey, get out the car!" And like put the gun, get out the car, because you know that's what you're supposed to do. Hold up, you flash the gun in a moving vehicle. Like, is this about to be a drive-by situation? You know, so it's that. Also, he does need help. I believe this thing, it's a psychological thing with him. It's like he has to look hard look hard and gangster on social media, and then try to act the part too by like fighting a teenage boy, like beating up a teenager, which you get no points for that in my book. Also, his parents need to be parents. I mean, his mom is calling him to settle problems at a mall and at a volleyball game. I'm gonna come down there and settle this problem. I'm like, yo, you putting your son in danger? No, you're supposed to have security or somebody to do that. Or how about call his dad and not him?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, I don't understand this whole all this stuff that's going on in his head, and he really does need to sit down with some specialists and be like, hey, you know, I know her situation wasn't this bad. It's like Sha'Carri Richardson, when people were telling her, hey, get off of social media. Right. And what happened to her? Guess what? She beat one of the fastest people in the world, Jamaican Sharika Jackson, a few weeks ago. Ran a 10-7. So I mean, you know, when you focus on your craft and forget the nonsense, good things can happen.
You're absolutely right. Speaking of like Sha'Carri Jackson, you know, she's now one of the top runners in the world. And
Yeah.
you see what happened, you know, a few years ago with that issue, which was a nothing issue, and it was blown out of proportion, way bigger than what it was. Now she's going to be primed, ready for the Olympics coming up.
Coming up next year, World Championships this year, Olympics
Right.
next year. But she figured it out though. She's like, okay, this is what's messing me up, and now I need to concentrate on this right here, and you're starting to see the results.
Exactly. I just seen something really strange though.
What's that?
Now, remember Jay Cutler?
Yeah, Jay Cutler, quarterback, Denver Broncos, the Chicago Bears,
Mhm.
went to Vanderbilt.
There's pictures of him, and he was hunting and he killed a bear.
Okay.
I guess people aren't really people are upset about it. He's facing backlash online for bear hunting in Big Sky County, Montana.
Okay.
And
Was
he
it
put
beer?
it-
Was it beer season?
And he put it on Instagram right there.
I know a lot of. I was in the military. I knew a lot of guys who hunted. They did the same thing. They put their deer on there, put the beer on there. Okay, what's the big deal?
Well, you know, the PETA guys gotta go crazy and you know whatnot.
What he did was not illegal. But please help me. Like what he did is not illegal.
Right. Well, someone even said, how can you be proud of this?
It's a culture. Some of these men hunt. It's a culture. You know, Kevin Kolb, quarterback. He used to quarterback for the Eagles. Quarterback for out here for his own Cardinals for a little bit. He used to go. He used to hunt wild boar with nothing but a knife. People. Some of these guys do that. This is what they do.
They say he killed a grizzly, and grizzlies are federally protected under Endangered Species Act.
Oh, they are?
It can cause him a fine of $50,000, loss of hunting license, and even jail time. That's coming from a comment. This is on social media. Like I said, he put it on his Instagram, and people on social media are going crazy.
I think he would have knew that. I don't think he would have. If he's a seasoned hunter, I think he would have knew not to shoot a grizzly. If that's
Right.
the case.
According to the Montana government, black bear hunting regulators document a hunter must take and pass a black bear identification test before purchasing a black bear hunting license.
Mm-hmm.
There's a 48-hour reporting requirement. All black bear harvests. There are also certain rules and instrument used to kill animals, as well as certain restrictions. It's restricted locations. He's possibly anyone who did not like the bear post, photograph for a rainbow, whatever. He's going back and forth with the people. It seems like it was a legal kill.
If it's a legal kill, then he's good.
But people are going, crazy over it. I'm just seeing this now, and I didn't know he was hunting. I didn't know that at all. I thought he was still in Miami trying to get another reality show or something. I remember he was on some reality show with his ex-wife.
Oh, okay.
At the time, and now he's out there in Montana. This is what people do. I mean, I don't know. I don't see problem with it if it's legal, and it seems like it is legal. But in this day and age, the outragers are gonna outrage. That's what they do. They outrage for no reason. Come with facts that are, they're facts, but this may not be that time and place. If you're talking about a grizzly bear and that's not a grizzly bear, then what are you talking about? So that's strange.
Yeah.
Something I seen now was strange, but
Yeah.
you know, J. Cutler's out here killing bears. Hey, I guess that's better than throwing interceptions than he was throwing pick six. You know,
If anything, I can see the Bear fans being mad. Yeah, he killed the bear.
the
Okay.
Chicago Bears.
Yeah, Chicago Bear fans being mad. I can see that, man. But
What team did he end up with? Last his
I-
last team.
I can't
Was it
remember.
Miami? I think it was Miami. Yeah, but so we're gonna go to break. We're gonna come back the next hour. We're gonna talk about Tank Davis is in jail. We're gonna talk a lot more things outside of sports and get into some more some more topics to talk about. So keep it locked right here. The Keep 1 Million Show.
Yes, sir.
Minute here.
Oh.
What else we was talking about? Devontae David. And what else?
We talked about
The GM.
GM.
Oh, I was from the second
We talked about GM. We said Tank Davis. We already talked about the coaches. Oh, Shannon Sharp.
There you go. That's at least a couple more things.
I don't know if you want to save that for the longer segment, Shannon.
The altitude.
Uh,
What happened?
I don't know if you want to save that for the longer segment, Shannon.
Right.
And then
I seen DC Young Fly's girlfriend died.
yeah.
I just, oh.
Sherman, The Sugar Thieves, and Charles Lewis. WestsideBlues.com. Also on Facebook. Hashtag Westside Jazz and Blues.
$45.
Broadcasting from the Phoenix Center for
I
the
look
Arts,
for
you're tuned to
Snicker
KRDP
protein
Jazz
bar.
and Indie,
Oh.
where the family comes to talk, sing,
$45.
connect.
Yeah.
KRDP,
Protein bar?
Apache Junction.
Well, no, not for one.
Oh,
It's
oh,
for about
oh,
Phoenix,
it's for 12 of them,
90.7
no, but I don't
FM
think it's
East
worth
Valley, and online at Listen, the number 2, KRDP.com.
Yeah, I used to-
a service
I'm about to start
of
hitting the gym again. I used to eat
expressed in this
particular.
program.
When they,
Oh,
Of the
okay.
they were
speakers
good too,
and
but
do not necessarily
trying to find
reflect the
them.
views or positions of Desert Soul Media and its board of directors. Thank you for listening.
This week on the Keep 1 Million Show, the NBA Finals is here, and we're going to talk Game 1 between the Miami Heat and the Denver Nuggets. We're also going to get into that epic Eastern Conference Finals against the Boston Celtics and Miami, and what's next for the Boston Celtics. They have a lot of questions that need to be answered. We're also going to talk about the coaching carousel, as some coaches have landed on teams. Are they the right fit? We're also going to get into the undisputed may be parting ways. Shannon Sharp may be leaving. We're going to talk about that, and also everything in between the sports world and beyond from the past week. So keep it locked right here on the Keep 1 Million Show.
Yes, sir. Actually, they might just have a different package. Well, they didn't look like this though when I bought them.
What happened?
The Snicker bars, I'm just saying, they didn't look like this when I used to buy them.
I'm gonna change the
You gotta bring up some baseball, I guess.
See what?
I thought you could bring up some baseball, I guess.
Oh, baseball.
Just like, standings, stats.
Yeah.
Oh. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Did you see the video of the quarterbacks at Tampa Bay in their OTAs? Oh, it was so bad.
Nah, I didn't see that video.
It was terrible. I think who got in roster. But yeah, it was bad. I'm like, wow.
JJ, you want to talk about the quarterback of Tampa Bay, Shannon Sharp, some baseball. Maybe bring up the two Florida teams. Better than two Florida teams, the Stanley Cup NBA Finals.
back. Keep 1 Million Show. I'm Dwayne.
Sean P.
And we're back from Game 1 of the NBA Finals. The Denver Nuggets beat the Miami Heat 104 to 93.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks like this is going to be what the NBA Finals are going to look like from here on out. Denver is an overwhelming favorite.
Mm-hmm.
They were an overwhelming favorite in Game 1, an 8.5 point favorite.
Yeah.
Jokic is a favorite to win MVP.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, you got to pick your poison. Either you let Jokic go for 45, 50 and shut everybody down, or you try to double and stop Jokic and he goes for a 25-point triple-double. What do you do?
Well, Marv Albert used to always say this about Michael Jordan. You can't stop him, you can only hope to contain him. You know?
Exactly. And Jimmy Butler, he didn't really go off. He only had 13 points in the whole game.
Yeah.
So look for him to, establish himself in Game 2, because they're going to have to do something different to win Game 2 and try to at least extend this series to 5 games. And we can get some other news. We have Javante David has been taken into custody. He was supposed to serve a 90-day house arrest. He was taken into custody this past week following a court hearing and transferred to Baltimore City Central Booking. David has been served a 90-day house arrest sentence at the home of his trainer, Calvin Ford. Punishment that went down last month after he pled guilty to all four counts from a hit-and-run crash in November 2020. Davis' attorney, Michael Tonko, told multiple outlets in Baltimore that Davis was taken into custody during an impromptu hearing late Thursday afternoon. The sheriff's office spokeswoman denied to provide further details. I wonder what happened. I wonder if that was he had a violation, or was it contempt in court, or possibly a fine not being paid. It's kind of strange that they won't say what was the reason why he was taken into custody, and then not saying how long he's going to be in custody for. So that's very very strange.
Yeah, it's strange. I always like the athletes to stay out of trouble, especially the stars. Stay out of trouble and everything. So I just hope and pray to this young man that he there's nothing real serious, and he can get on with his training for his next fight.
Right. Speaking of boxing, there's some really big fights coming up this month.
Yeah.
In June, you have Joshua Franco versus Kazuto Loka.
Mm-hmm.
This is their second fight for the WBA Junior Bantamweight title. That's June 24th. And I think Kazuga, he's one of the pound-for-pound top fighters.
Yeah.
Coming out of Japan. And then you have Josh Taylor versus Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah.
That's for Taylor's WBO Junior Welterweight title, which is on June 10th. That's going to be on ESPN. The Kazuko fight is not. It's probably going to be somewhere like in Japan. You can find that fight.
Yeah.
You'll be able to find that fight.
You'll be able to find it.
What do you think about the Josh Taylor Lopez fight?
I haven't heard. That doesn't mean that he hasn't been active, but I haven't heard Teofimo doing much of anything. I mean, the last big thing I seen him do was when he beat Lomachenko. So on I like Teofimo Lopez, and I believe I can't make a call because I seen Teofimo fight, but I never seen the other guy fight, so I can't make a decision on that. I gotta at least see him fight.
Right. Lopez, he lost to Cambosos. And he
Okay.
knocked out Pedro Campa in a split decision, win over Sandro Martin.
Okay.
So, that's going to be an interesting fight. You have another fight of Chernika Johnson versus Ellie Skunti. 10 rounds for Johnson's IBF Women's
Okay.
Junior Featherweight title. That's on June 10th.
Yeah, when it comes to women's boxing, the only ones I really pay attention to, I pay attention to Clarissa Shields and this one girl, Alicia Bumgarner.
Okay. Speaking of Clarissa Shields is fighting Marcella Cornejo, 12 rounds for Shields' undisputed women's middleweight champion.
Yeah. I don't think Shields is ever going to lose a fight. I mean,
And that's going to be this Saturday.
she's really good. I mean, I've seen her put her punches together. I mean, she really can box. I've seen her do her thing. Her and Alicia Bumgarner can really get busy as well.
That's on June 3rd. So, and also there's Porges versus Donatello Zarala, 12 rounds for Porges WBC Junior Welterweight title, June 17th. Now, this is important because Devin Haney, who actually denied this, there's rumor that Devin Haney may move up to fight Porges for his title. Like I said, that is the junior welterweight title. So June 17th, he's fighting for that, to retain his title. Now, if he loses, which I guess he's an overwhelming favorite, he's the undisputed champion. That can throw a kink in that, possible title fight. So that's something to keep your eye on if you're a boxing fan. Also have Carlos Admins versus Julian Williams, 12 rounds for Admins' WBC interim middleweight title on June 24th. Tim Zhu versus Carlos Ocampo, 12 rounds for Zhu's WBO interim junior middleweight title on June 18th.
All right.
Also have Marilyn Rivas versus Nazarin Romero, 10 rounds for Rivas WBA women's junior featherweight belt, June 10th. And Nina Hughes versus Katie Haley, 10 rounds for Hughes' WBA women's bantamweight title, which is also June 10th. And Fernando Martinez versus Jade Borna, 12 rounds for Martinez IBF junior bantamweight title. That's June 24th. Sonny Edwards versus Andrea Campos, 12 rounds for Edwards IBF flyweight title, June 10th. And last, Mizuko Haruta versus Casey Morton, 10 rounds for Haruta's WBO women's junior bantamweight title, which is June 13th. So, any boxing fans, there's a lot of fights this month.
A lot of fights.
It's a lot of fights this
Lot
month.
of fights.
What do you think is going to be next for, Lomachenko?
Go back to the shop, go back to the lab, retool, and figure it out. Because he lost to Haney, he's not going to be in line for like a Shakur Stevenson or anything like that. But Lomo's a good boxer. They gonna figure something out for him.
Right. Yeah, probably, and also with this major fight coming up in July, Spence Crawford. How big can this fight be? I just hope it's not a dud. I hope at least as big as a fight as say I don't even want to compare.
Hey, they
how
said
big of this fight can be.
they was getting interviewed on First Take with Stephen A. both Crawford and Spence, they were real respectful. They were real respectful of one another in the platform. But Earl Spence and Des Crawford, they hyping this fight up. They saying it's going to be on the lines of Hagler Hearns, Hagler Leonard. It's going to be big like that. You know, it's going to be like was it Chavez and Pernell Whitaker?
So if it's Hagler Hearns is doing more than one fight. I mean, they did do a contract where, you know, the loser can, you know, implement the rematch.
Yeah,
so this may come to a rubber match.
Yeah.
And we're not even getting the first one. We're already talking about three fights already. I mean, if it's that good, we're gonna want to see a rematch for one, and then two. You know, they're not gonna want to lose. So it's gonna be. It has to be a trilogy.
It's gonna come down to this. It's gonna come down to who makes the mistake.
Right.
It's gonna be like whoever makes the mistake, it's gonna be over with. You know, it's like because Crawford has the power to put somebody else. And Earl Spence does as well. I believe Earl Spence is a naturally bigger dude. So both of them can box. So it's really very interesting.
Exactly. I don't. When's the last time we had a major trilogy?
Gaddy Ward.
Right, but it might be in some after that. That was in the.
That's the early 2000s.
Right.
So I can't think of any right now. Oh, the Mexicans. Eric Morales and Marco Antonio Barrera. That trilogy.
Okay.
And then you had Eric Morales and Manny Pacquiao. That was a trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe Eric Morales and Juan Manuel Marquez. It was a trilogy. But the first two definitely, because Eric Morales, I always liked Eric Morales. He came out on the losing end. He beat those fighters, but those fighters in rubber matches they beat him. So
right.
So those were sooner. Those were after Gaddy and Ward.
Right, and we're definitely gonna talk more boxing and you know what's going on with the boxing world in future episodes. So keep it locked when any and everything about boxing. We're gonna come right back with more. Keep 1 Million Show.
You want to talk about Shannon next, or?
And we're back. Keep 1 Million. So I'm Dwayne.
Sean P.
And it was some major news that came out in the sports media world that Shannon Sharp may be leaving Undisputed, and as soon as the end of the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
There's been reports talking about he has been bought out of his contract at FS1, who is, you know, the company underneath Fox. He's been with them since 2016, since Skip Bayless moved from ESPN as the, you know, him and Stephen A. Smith split up. Now, another split is happening, you know, which they took quite a chunk from First Take, you know, for some years, but we've seen kind of a back and forth going on between Shannon and Skip, and it looked kind of personal, especially with the, some of the social justice issues, some of the black issues. What did you feel about, we talked about this weeks ago, about a month ago, that it may happen, especially with the DeMar Hamlin situation. How do you feel about it?
Honestly, I saw it coming after that huge argument they had about Tom Brady and everything. It got really nasty and personal. Didn't have to go that far. Didn't have to get that. It didn't have to go to that. It just was. I didn't understand why Skip was trying to compare a quarterback to a tight end when he just didn't respect. It seemed like he didn't respect any of Shannon's accomplishments, because when Shannon finished playing the game, he was considered like the best tight end, the greatest tight end of all time. If not the greatest, he was considered one of the greatest. He definitely was on the Mount Rushmore. Now we know the tight end position has changed. The rule changes and everything, so he's been knocked down that list quite a bit. But that argument they had, it was just nasty. I was like, dang, y'all taking it there.
Right. It got really personal, and it seemed like Skip was jealous. Shannon has his own the Club Shay Shay podcast that's been pretty good. Skip's own podcast that hasn't been doing that good. I don't know anyone that watches it.
He has a podcast?
Right, you didn't even know
Nah,
that.
I didn't even know.
So it's kind of like how Stephen A. Smith, Stephen A. Smith has his own. He has First Take, then he has another show.
Yeah, No Mercy. It's actually pretty good.
Right, then he has another podcast, and he has all kinds.
I think
of
he has his radio
things
show
going on.
too.
Right, so Skip Bayless's new contract, he wanted that. He wanted more, avenues and platforms.
Yeah.
On his own, and it's kind of like it wasn't doing well, because he basically talks about the Cowboys and that's it. And
Cowboys and the Spurs.
Exactly. And when you look at the Undisputed, it's basically Cowboys, LeBron, Tom Brady, the Lakers.
Yeah.
It goes over and over and over. You get kind of tired of it.
Yeah.
So, I'm thinking if Shannon keeps the Club Shay Shay, he may move that somewhere else. Possibly he used to be with CBS years ago, maybe with CBS or just on the YouTube and have some big sponsor, the sponsors and just be on YouTube.
It could be Barstool Sports. It could be somebody.
Not Barstool, no.
You don't think so?
Never. Barstool is borderline racist sports network. And they're straight up Boston. I didn't realize that they're huge Boston. The owner is, from Boston. They're based in Boston, and if you really get into the Barstool stuff and look into it, it's not good at all. They have a lot of racist content that they've had over the years. So it's not good at all.
Well, the only reason why I know about it is because $1 million worth of game.
Right. They're kind of down with Barstool. There's a bunch of stuff that's going on with the owner, legal issues. If you look it up, there's some real iffy things going on over there with Barstool. And going again with Shannon Sharp, I'm thinking, if he goes with, maybe CBS or CBS is with Showtime, so Showtime has. Smoke.
Yeah, I can see. I can see that. I can see Showtime. Mm-hmm.
Right, because Shannon does some things where I think when he had that interview with Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, and it was like a big spectacle, kind of a big production how he did it.
Yeah.
Or his team did it. It looked very professional. It looked very
real good interview. Yeah, it was
right,
dope.
Great interview and everything. So he's branching out and doing more, and I think that route, most likely people in his ear like, man, you can do this without Skip. What I mean? So,
he definitely could do it without
Skip.
Skip.
Exactly. So, with that being said, I'm thinking that him leaving Undisputed is going to be a good thing for both of them. Well, maybe not for Skip, but for Shannon.
Yeah.
Who would be who would be someone to replace him though? Or
That's what
would
I
he
was gonna
do?
say. Yeah.
Or would he do what First Take is doing? Have just rotating guests.
Maybe rotating guests. He always talks about how cool he is with like Lil Wayne and this and that, you know. But I don't know who they would put in that seat across from him. It's going to have to be somebody that's not an alpha male. There's somebody that's going to that he can shine over. So and I'm gonna keep race out of it. I don't think it's gonna be a black white thing. It's just gonna be somebody that he can.
Right.
Somebody that's going to be able to have their own opinion, but not be as big of a star as him to outshine him. So
Yeah, I understand that too.
yeah,
But yeah, the rotating guests, I can see that. With Lil Wayne, I can see him doing maybe once.
yeah,
I can see him doing more than once, like once a week, like how Mad Dog does it on First Take.
yeah,
Because he's in New York. He's a New York staple. Mad Dog is.
yeah,
As far as radio, Lil Wayne is an international superstar.
yeah,
He ain't got time to be in LA once a week
yeah.
to do a show for an hour or so, and that's it. Like, no, he'll do that once, maybe twice. He may do it twice, but you know, I think maybe rotating of the FS1, you know, roster. You know,
Rob
Parker in there,
Chris Broussard, Nick Wright.
Right.
Yeah. What they call him? Nick Wilds. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I could see that happening.
Yeah.
And maybe just Skip Bayless by himself mostly. But those type of shows haven't worked in a long time. So, you know, the debate shows have taken over and dominated sports television for over 20 years.
Yeah, since Partner Interruption.
And it's still going. PTI is still going
strong. Yeah.
So, when it comes to something like that, like a one-man show, nah, I don't think that would work this day and age. But it would be interesting to see someone try it, and maybe, you know, bring in those guests, like you know, like an actual talk show, like, you know, remember those '90s talk shows?
Talking about like Johnny Carson and all that.
Not necessarily the night talk show, like a.
Oh, you talking about like Donahue, like
kind of like that.
Right.
But remember, I think it was, what's the show called, Up Close on ESPN, where they had all these like in-depth interviews of players. And,
oh, okay.
And I remember because it would be always the days where I'm like at home sick or something, I'll watch, and it seemed like every week he makes one of the players cry. You know, he goes into like their childhood or whatever, like he's their therapist and they're crying.
I remember Up Close.
And they used to always post like, oh yeah.
Oh, you talking about the joint like Roy Firestone back in the day, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's who it was. The
oh, that was the host. Okay,
right, exactly. So I can see Shannon going that route because he has Club Shay Shay, obviously.
And, you know, he does more than sports too. He has comedians and rappers and all that. So honestly, I believe this is best for Shannon. Shannon's not stupid. He's going to get a good deal somewhere. He's going to get a good deal somewhere. I believe this is going to hurt Skip more than it's going to hurt Shannon. And they're going to see in the ratings. Because a lot of people, I only went on there to check out what Shannon was going to say. And how much of a fanboy he was going to be with LeBron. Like, you know, I always thought that was funny. I thought it was funny when he used to put the wave cap on and had the black and mild and had a Henny.
It went viral. He got his own liquor now.
Yeah, he got his own liquor. Yeah,
now,
man.
So,
do something before do something.
Right, but it looks to me like the debate show's on its last leg. Yeah. You got Stephen A. Skip, and like you said, you know, this is the second time, you know, he had to part ways with a co-host.
Well, the thing with Stephen A was just bigger than Skip, and and, you know, egos get in the way, you know.
Right, that's true. But the thing is, with the First Take, that's getting stale as well. We can't say it's not getting stale. It's getting stale. I just don't know how long it's gonna last. But like something like one of these in-depth interviews, you know, I mean Taylor Rooks is doing it, Malik Andrews is doing it, and is getting a lot of play there. But as far as the loud mouth debate shows, you know, maybe something different.
I do like it when Mad Dog and JJ Redick get into it. It's
Now,
pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Mad Dog
JJ Redick, he didn't put himself in. He didn't put himself in there to where he's a viable part of that of First Take. He's put himself in there now. You know with.
Basketball wise, anyway.
Right. I mean, well, debating them and the whole generational thing, where he's kind of say, "Hey, we're young, we know what we're doing too," and going at him. You know what I mean?
But I like him because he's so calm. He very rarely raises his voice, you know, with them. You know, he's real calm. And I remember he said, I thought it was funny, man, when he said, he said Kuzi was out there playing with plumbers and firefighters. Right. I was like that. I was like, oh, man. Mm-hmm. Right. Like, that was funny, man. I was like, all right, man.
Right. Getting some basketball, like talking about, you know, the finals in the off season. Now, the Boston Celtics, they have a lot of questions, and Brad Stevens, who's the GM, he's going to keep Joe Mazzulla, their head coach.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about Jaylen Brown being a big part of the Celtics. As we know, Jaylen Brown is due a big contract. Jason Tatum is also, you know, all NBA, so he can get a supermax contract. Jaylen Brown also can. What do the Celtics do? Brad Stevens already saying he's keeping Mazzulla. Now, my issue is when you have, for 2 years in a row, you have Jaylen Brown trade rumors, and most of the Celtic fan base is blaming Jaylen Brown for that Game 7 loss. You know, and we know he hears it, he sees it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? How the Celtics going to play this in the offseason?
Well, like I said in the first hour, Dame Lillard is right there. They would have to give up more than like if they only do players, they would probably have to give up Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown to get Dame Lillard out there.
And I think that's if they keep that third pick in the NBA draft.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're looking to move that third pick, and that's a lot of speculation what they're going to do. A lot of teams, I think Philly's one of the teams being talked about, and others, the Knicks.
For what?
I think Toronto, that third pick to trade down and grab a veteran player. I think San Antonio is one of them. Grab a veteran player to keep Damian Lillard.
Okay.
Right? But Damian Lillard's looking frustrated, looking like he wants out. Boston may be a destination. You know, Damian for Jaylen Brown. You keep the third pick, or you do that trade the third pick, and get another veteran to pair up with Jaylen Brown. That could be something, you know. But if the Celtics are willing to pay both players, Tatum and Jaylen Brown, I think you keep them both there. There's other moves they need to make as far as what are you going to do with Al Horford? What do you do with Williams? Williams is, you know, both of them. You know, how are you going to, you know, restructure this offense? What are you going to do with Marcus Smart? Are they going to change a type of philosophy? I mean, Mazzulla was, you know, he was thrown in there because of the Ime Udoka situation. And he got him to the Eastern Conference Finals. But they were supposed to get to the finals. So,
yeah,
we can see what happens. I get they give him one more year. One more whole season. You got a whole off-season training camp and everything like that. And then also moving on, you have Nick Nurse coming in as the 76ers head coach.
Yeah.
They're going to try to keep James Harden. He's a free agent. I mean, how do you think that's going to work out?
Nick Nurse said it's winning time. He told James Harden it's winning time. You know, so we'll see. If Harden decides to walk, we don't get anything for him. We can't do a sign and trade. Philadelphia 76ers can't do a sign and trade for him. So they had to figure it out. I mean, elevate Maxey. I like Maxey a lot. He's younger and everything. And then put him in that role. Put him in that role if Harden decides to walk. You know, and remember Van Fleet. We just talked about that in the first hour. Van Fleet's free agent. So if it works out, I don't know if they have to do a sign and trade or anything like that. But if it works out, they get like say they get Van Fleet. They say, okay, Harden, you can walk. Deuces, go ahead, walk.
Yeah, that's true.
Walk. Van Fleet doesn't shoot you. He doesn't shoot you out of games like Harden does.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't think right now you're gonna get a hometown discount from James Harden at all.
No, you're not.
And also with Ime Udoka over there with Houston, there's rumblings he may want to go back to Houston.
Yeah, rumblings.
So, yeah, that you can dangle that out there with them. Are you with us or not? Because if not, then we already have a contingency plan. So we're definitely gonna see how that shapes out in the next few months in the off season. We're gonna come right back with more Keep 1 Million show.
Yeah. Did you ever play the Legend of Zelda back in the day?
Huh?
Did you ever play Zelda back in the day, Legend of Zelda?
A long time ago. All of them were Mario.
I used Mario Kart, all that.
I played a lot of Mario, a lot of football. And then I started just going into sports.
Yeah.
Sports games like crazy.
Yeah, Madden's that football game, but I used to play the heck out of Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah, Madden, Tecmo Bowl.
Super Tecmo Bowl.
Yep. All the Tecmo Bowls.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah. That was really. I forget what other game I used to play on Nintendos. Okay. I'll come back on. Okay, we're back. Keep 1 Million show. I'm Dwayne.
Sean P.
And we'll talk some scores. Baseball. Blue Jays won 3-1 against the Brewers. Mets win against the Phillies 4-2.
Yeah.
Padres beat the Marlins 10-1. D-backs beat the Rockies 5-4. Red Sox beat the Reds 8-2. Twins beat the Guardians 7-6. Astros beat the Angels 5-2. And it seems like in baseball, I've barely been looking at baseball because the NBA playoffs have been so compelling. But you know, it looks like the AL East is head and above any other division in baseball by far. I mean, you have 3 teams with over 30 wins. Tampa Bay with 40. And the only other team with over, 30 wins is the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, surprisingly, the Braves, and the Texas Rangers. For me, I would think maybe not Baltimore, but any team out there, Tampa Bay or the Yankees, maybe the team to beat. If Baltimore Orioles keep this going past the All-Star break, then maybe. Because it's always the All-Star break for them and for those type of teams that they'll just collapse. As soon as it gets to July, August, they just collapse. So we'll see. You know, I'm not really into baseball right now. Maybe we'll get into it. When it comes time.
Yeah, normally with baseball for me is like is when the playoffs kick in. When it's getting close, when it's that playoff push, that's when it is. Everybody knows that it's coming to that time when the NBA Finals is over. All it is WNBA, baseball. Because hockey will be over too.
Yeah,
and then,
you got the Panthers versus the Las Vegas Knights. We have a situation haven't seen since '90. Well, no, we've seen it before. We've seen it recently.
Oh, we did?
Where we have teams of the same city in the championship. We had Tampa Bay, the Rays, and the Buccaneers.
Oh, right.
And we've had now we have the Heat and the Florida Panthers based in Miami.
I was thinking more of basketball and hockey because
right.
those seasons happen at the same time.
Yeah.
So when Miami's out of town, they playing the Panther games in Miami, and then vice versa. It switch up vice versa. And the last time the Knicks didn't win that championship, but the Rangers won it in '95.
Don't remind me.
No, I'm not trying to bring up bad.
It was the '94 season, the Rangers with Mark Messier.
Yeah, Mark Messier.
And the Knicks, Patrick Ewing, and
John Starks, all them boys.
Right.
I was rooting
against
the Rockets. I was rooting for them. That's how.
Here's this crazy stat. Denver may be the first team since 1979 to win a championship that's not in California or Texas. The last team to win a championship on the West Coast, the Western Conference, that's not California or Texas, was the Seattle Sonics in '79. And if you think about it, you remember the Lakers with all their rings from the 80s, the 80s and 2000s. The 90s was Houston and San Antonio.
Yeah.
And in the 2000s was San Antonio and the Lakers.
And then Golden State came along.
Golden State, California. Right. So, that was very, very interesting stat. I had to think about that.
Yeah, I had to think about it too. I was like, I was about to say Toronto, but Toronto's more east. It's
Toronto's east. It was in Canada. Yeah. And then remember before that was Portland had won. They won one with
Bill Walton.
Bill Walton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Denver could be the first team outside of Texas.
It's an interesting stat.
And California. Yep. Since '79. You know what I've seen also way outside of sports. Scarface, Al Pacino.
Yeah, what about him?
He becomes a dad.
That's De Niro.
He did too.
Oh, Pacino did?
At the age of 83.
Yeah, I know for a fact.
De Niro did, and he's 73 or 70 something. He talked about it.
Oh, snap,
He was doing a movie run or something.
Okay.
But I just seen this. I think it happened this past week. He's with some young 29-year-old.
Who is Pacino?
Al Pacino, who used to be with a bunch of famous musicians. I think who was he? They said it. It was Mick Jagger. She used to be with Mick Jagger, and
she got a thing for old dudes.
A billionaire. Yeah, and then she lucked up. She's pregnant with Al Pacino, his baby, at 83 years old. How crazy is that? I don't know how many kids he has overall. I know De Niro has 7.
7, yeah.
Al Pacino.
83. Michael Corleone.
Yeah. Yep, that is a very wild situation right here.
Oh man. Shoot.
Yep, and like I said, I'm thinking NBA Finals, Denver in 5.
Denver in 5.
Yeah.
I got.
After how this is playing and how they're still playing like they played against the Lakers and the Suns.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Denver in 5.
5. I'll give Miami a home game in Miami. Game 3. They'll win game 3, lose game 4,
And then lose
and
game 5
then
in Denver.
game 5 in Denver. Yep.
I can't argue with that. I was gonna say 6, but I can't even make a argument for 6.
No,
Yeah.
it's not going to 6. It's definitely not going to 7. They're not going to pull a Boston Celtics here. I don't think so. If they do that, they need to win 2 games. They need to win this one, game 2,
Yeah, they got
and
one
then game 3.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure. They don't have that in them. I feel they're out of gas. Now, when you got this whole rest versus rust situation, Denver's not rusty at all, as you see.
No. I knew they wouldn't be.
And once, like I said, Miami made a mistake, a huge mistake, not killing the dragon, slaying the dragon, not sweeping Boston. Because if they swept Boston, then they have time not just to rest, but to scout, watch film, and kind of draw a real plan. I mean, they probably drew up the plan on the plane ride.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They had to, because right after they beat Boston, they went from Boston to Denver, and that was a whole issue. Of, they have they're playing going to Denver after this, and they ain't even played the game yet. But most teams do that.
Yeah.
Most teams, especially Game 7, they have 2 flight plans, either in the next series or going home.
Mm-hmm.
So they were confident, enough to say, hey, we're going to win this, and they guaranteed, I don't know how many times they guaranteed it. They guaranteed it like 8 different times. So, and one last thing, I know you're not a sneakerhead, I'm not sure, but I just seen that the Yeezys are back.
Yeah, I read up on that. He went in and they met with Adidas, and they knocked out some stuff. So they back. How much they cost? Like $500.
It was the last Yeezy sale this past week, and hold on, I didn't see any prices, but I seen a lot of people who got Yeezys or didn't get Yeezys talk about it. If I'm not sure, I think they're probably the same price. Between $200, $300, all different, all the different styles that everybody wears and whatnot. But it's kind of interesting with all what went on with Kanye West and Adidas.
Mm-hmm.
Now they come to an agreement because they had over almost $2 billion worth of merchandise that they couldn't sell because they know no one was gonna buy it without the Yeezy logo.
Yeah.
And they was trying to sell it without the Yeezy logo, and it's like, well, I'm gonna go buy all those at Ross and then sell them on eBay or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
And one last thing, if you're a sneakerhead, this one you gotta look out for. If You know the website Shein, SHEIN, where they always have these fake brands and stuff on that website.
I heard about it.
If I see anybody wearing the Jordan 11s without the Jordan logo on them, I'm gonna put you on Instagram. I'm gonna clown you. I'm gonna go in on you because Shein has been selling them. Oh my God. They're selling fake Jordan 11s for $33.
Hey man, some people
$33. $33?
Some people don't have shame.
It's funny because there's someone who's on, you know, what's it, TikTok or Instagram or whatever, who just goes in on people with fake shoes.
Yeah, he goes
It's hilarious.
like,
Starts singing and everything.
Yeah.
Right? But if I see you with the fake Jordan, the fake 11s, come on. They're literally the most iconic sneaker of all time. They're the number one sneaker of all time.
Some people don't have any shame. Some people don't. $33.
Well,
And sometimes you can wear your jeans like
over
your guns and everything.
Well, I'm gonna shamelessly clown you if you're wearing the Shein 11s. That's what they're gonna be called, the Shein 11s. Yeah, you would get mercilessly clowned wearing some fake sneakers around me. But that's it for the show. I'm Dwayne. We got Sean with me.
P.
You can find us on all social media platforms. Keep it 1 million show. Thanks everybody on Instagram and YouTube for watching.
Yes, sir.
Please go